Hi y'all. I had a plan for this video, and even after an unfortunate incident left me a little crushed, I was going to stick to the plan. I was going to talk about taking your own best advice. But the more I got into it, the more I couldn't keep it together. So then I was going to scrap the video and put everything on hold. If you know me or you've seen some of the other videos, you know I'm a fan of taking breaks when you need them. That's part of the practice. And I'm a fan of the practice. Sometimes you have to recognize the difference between taking a pause to refresh and regroup versus taking a pause that becomes, frankly, the end. Today I realized that if I didn't make this video, I might not make any more. Remember, part of the reason I started doing this was to get in the habit of doing it, to practice. As I mentioned in last month's Keep Going video, abhyasa, practice, is a big part of the yoga philosophy. It's actually referenced in several sacred texts from several different cultures. My mindfulness-based practice is what keeps me going, and I'm really grateful for it, even though some people might consider it the grind. The grind in this case being the very focused and sometimes tedious work that we do on a regular basis. Back in 1532, while he was enjoying the hospitality of the Tower of London, the English Protestant priest John Frith wrote a treatise known as A Mirror or Glass to Know Thyself. His very public views about things like purgatory, Holy Communion, and other elements of Christian theology, as well as his views on religious tolerance, are why he was first arrested and imprisoned in the Tower. But this treatise was a big part of why he was eventually convicted and executed for heresy. I bring this up because in the second chapter of A Mirror or Glass to Know Thyself, Frith wrote about the idea that we are all given certain gifts for a specific purpose. And regardless of our individual details or unique circumstances, that purpose is ultimately about the preservation of our community as a whole. He talked about saying something when you see something, doing something when you have the means to help another. And he talked about the two-faced hypocrisy of leaders who use their positions and power to defraud the public. With regard to those two-faced leaders, he specifically referenced Ecclesiastes 34:21 and said, "This text holdeth their noses so hard to the grindstone that it clean disfigureth their faces, for it proveth." And then he went on to say that it proved who they really were, based on their actions. We may think of the saying, keeping your nose to the grindstone, as a reference to doing hard, diligent work. In this context, it is also a reminder that what we do shows people who we are. It's also connected to the idea that the grindstone sharpens the tools. July 26th is a day when I normally ask two questions during the physical practice. Are you practicing? And what are you practicing? That second one might be the most important one. Because when you pay attention to what you're practicing, how you're grinding, you sharpen your focus. And it can be like looking in a mirror. Something I do at least once a day, every 9 days.